Last time I was over here, I was on my DRZ 4S, and today I'm on my DRZ 400S. A little bit chilly this morning. I've got my grip heaters on, and I also have a couple of extra layers on upper body. A mid-layer jacket, my riding jacket, and then an outer, basically it's like a rain jacket, but I use it as a windbreaker a lot. So in my last video, I think I struck a nerve with a bunch of people, even though there hasn't been a whole lot of views on that video. But there's a handful of comments that were just kind of off the wall and rude, and I deleted them. I just don't have the patience to have people leave rude comments. But I got into a discussion about staying on the right side of the road as best you can, and also if you're not the lead rider and you're second or third back, don't ride in somebody's blind spot. And here's why I don't like that when I am riding and somebody's doing that to me. Is this particular road, it's pretty beat up. There's rocks that roll down off the hill, sticks in the road, and sometimes I will swap over to the left side of the road. And a lot of people will do that on this particular road or other roads in general. But as soon as you have a clear path to get back to the right side of the road, do so. So the thing is, if somebody's following you right in your blind spot and you need to dive over to the left side of the road to avoid an obstacle, you're going to hit that person, and both of you might crash. So here we have a log sticking out. Now, I didn't have to really dodge that log by moving to the left side of the road, but there are cases where that might be a necessity. There's a lot of embedded rocks in this road that if I hit those, they're going to launch me. So I don't want to hit them. There's another log. So for the most part here, I am staying on the right side of the road. There's been a few times where I have kind of moved over to the left. Like right there. There was a bunch of embedded rocks I didn't necessarily want to hit. So it's just not a good idea to have somebody riding so close behind you off to your left, especially in your blind spot. Now by blind spot I mean so close that I can't see them in my mirror. Now with these adventure style mirrors, the double take adventure style mirrors I have on my 400S, I do have a little bit better side visibility than the round mirrors that I have on my 4S. And I also have the really short arms on my 4S. So there's another rock I don't want to hit. A big embedded rock. There's more that I don't want to hit on the right. Now I am at a situation where there's so much loose rock in the middle that I don't necessarily want to risk an issue by crossing through that rock garden to get back to the right side of the road. So here's a good spot to do that. So I understand that people might have or will have the desire to follow somebody off their flank to the left to stay out of their dust cloud, but it's just not wise or safe or responsible to ride so close that the other person in front of you can't see you or can't hear you. So that was basically the whole point of that last video. And you can see here that I'm still kind of back and forth just a little bit over to the left side, but I primarily try to stay on the right side. And there's other situations where there might be a rut. Lots of erosion issues cause ruts, and sometimes the ruts don't necessarily stay on the right side of the road. They'll cross over to the other side. Or wheel tracks from four-wheel drive traffic that gets up here way too early in the season when the road is still very, very soft, just barely after the snow melted, and the roads are basically pretty muddy. Those types of situations can cause ruts as well. And those ruts, they'll go all over the place. So this section of the road, I can pretty much always stay on the right side. There's really no issues that cause me to have to shoot over to the left side, at least not that I can remember. There's a few embedded rocks, but I can dodge around them a little bit and still stay in the right side wheel track. And right back there, that was a completely blind corner. So that's another example of where it's just really, really bad to have somebody riding so close beside of you that if you met somebody coming around that corner, who knows what would happen. So the guy riding in the blind spot is putting both him and whoever he's following at risk. So if a guy at oncoming traffic comes around a blind corner, sees two people riding side by side, that person's natural tendency may be to shoot towards the middle of the road. And if the guy, like, say, if somebody's following me, but so close beside of me that they're not really behind me much at all, he could grab a handful of brake and duck in behind me, but he's so close beside of me that who knows, he may just shoot to the left, which then of course the oncoming guy would try to go towards the middle. Well, then you're going to bang handlebars, and that guy coming towards me could clip my handlebars and take me out, and of course it's going to take him out, and he might take out the person that is riding beside of me. So yeah, the whole thing about following somebody to stay out of their dust cloud, that's exactly it. Follow them. Don't ride directly beside of them right back here. That way he or she has a chance to duck in behind me if there's an oncoming bike or four-wheeled vehicle, whether it's a truck, car, or a side-by-side or a UTV. And historically, when I've been riding with people up until, say, the last 2 years, that's how somebody would always follow me in the rare situations where I was in the lead. Is they would run a staggered formation be about 20 plus feet behind me, but yet close enough where they're essentially not eating my dust. But that gives them plenty of space to dodge in behind me if something comes up where they need to do that. Or it also gives me clear space to shoot over to the left if I need to dodge an obstacle. Like right through here, there's a lot of this brush that kind of grows out into the road just a little bit and can hide stuff like that. Fortunately, most of the time when stuff is hidden by brush or just out at the road edge or over the road, somebody will eventually trim it back so that it doesn't present a hazard. So I think that last video that I made, a lot of people took it out of context. So I just thought I'd take this opportunity to sort of clarify my position on that. So here's another blind corner. Yeah, so I've been riding for close to 30 years, or actually a little over 30 years now. And I've been on a lot of dual sport events. I've gone out and done a lot of group rides. And I don't generally lead or play lead rider guy. I've always been a follow. But then oftentimes I'll have people following me too. And I generally will stay back out of somebody's dust cloud, far enough back where their dust is pretty much clear. But yet there might be people following me, and they will do the staggered formation where they'll be off to my side and back behind me 20 plus feet. But I have never been the kind of person that wants to ride in a staggered formation over on the left side of the road if somebody is on the right and I'm trying to chase them down or whatever, stay out of their dust cloud. Because I don't know what they're gonna do, and I don't want to put myself at risk. So I just drop way back and let the dust settle. Everybody's got their personal preferences as far as what they like to do and what they're comfortable with. This 24-year-old DRZ still rips, still puts a smile on my face every time I ride it. So of course right through this section, once I got out of the trees, the road's relatively straight and you've got good visibility. So I probably wouldn't really have an issue riding in a staggered formation behind and off to the side of somebody, because the road is wider. It's not necessarily what I would say is a two-track road with two wheel tracks. So you've got good visibility, you got space to maneuver all over the place. And this road is kind of loose. It's obviously really dusty. So the front tire can have a tendency to get squirrely. So in situations like that, I wouldn't necessarily want to be riding behind and off to the side of somebody. I would still just stay way back. That's just my personal preference from a safety aspect. I guess I can kind of also expand on the whole riding in a staggered formation some. I don't consider myself a good enough rider to commit to staying on the right side of the road regardless of what the terrain does. So that's part of my reservation about having somebody ride beside and so close to me, because I might need the entire road to dodge something. Like right here, I'm kind of going around some of the really loose dirt. If you have people in your circle of riding friends that are very good riders and you trust that they're not going to shoot off to the side and impede your path, then go for it. Feel free to ride really close to them. It's just not something I'm comfortable with. It's not something I'm comfortable with either doing it or have somebody do it to me. And of course this portion of the road, whoop, there was a little dip that I didn't see. The road sort of dropped out from under me practically. There's a handful of embedded rocks, but most of them are on the left side of the road, so they don't present an issue to me going this way, but they do present an issue when I'm coming back up the other direction. So you can see some of that stuff is hidden in the shade from the trees, and as the sun moves around later in the day, other spots are hidden. And you hit some of those embedded rocks, if you don't see them, like this one, that one wasn't a good example, but if you hit it and you're not expecting it and you don't see it, it could totally launch you sideways and get you all cattywampus in the road. The back tire could launch off of it and set you up like that for landing if it's a hard enough launch. And of course, this section, so be it. If you want to race your buddy, then by all means, do what you want to do. Because it's nice and wide, straight, wide open visibility. Of course, this section doesn't go but for maybe half a mile, 3/4 of a mile or so. But on an old, beat up, bedraggled, wore out, tattered, overgrown 2-track road, it's just not wise to ride so tight and close to somebody. Safety of you that are doing it and the safety of the guy who you're riding beside. That was the whole premise of that video, and I may not have conveyed that message appropriately. I turned that video into more of a rant than an education. So after those comments on that video that were kind of off the wall and a little bit rude, I thought it was time to clarify my logic of what that video was supposed to be about. So there you have it. I think that wraps up another episode of Ride and Ramble with Dual Sport Doug today. We're just coming up to, it's about another 2 miles or so to French Corral. Yeah, I'm at 11.9 and we got, 2 miles to go. I'm not really paying attention to the roll chart on this section because I don't need to. I don't need to check ride this portion because I know the roll chart is spot on. But there are a couple more sections that I do need to check ride today, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. Anyway, I said this video was gonna be over and then I kept rambling. Now it's over. See ya. This 24-year-old DRZ still rips. It still puts a smile on my face every time I ride it.